Alright, what is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here, back again here on PlayStation Source. And of course, with the PS4 having its last big major exclusive, Ghost of Tsushima, we do have the end of the PS4 generation on the horizon, with the PS5 incoming this fall. However, although there is still the PS4 console to deal with, including the firmware updates that we are getting to this day. So we do have some new patch notes involving PS4 Firmware Update 8.00 that will go over some new things involving a lot of it is happening with party and messages, but I figured I'd bring all the patch notes to you guys in a video. So without further ado, here is the rundown on the PS4 Firmware 8.0. So before we get into it, make sure to leave a like on the video as well as stay subscribed to PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Down below, of course, you can find links to our Discord, our Twitter, as well as our Anchor link. That way you can listen to our long form content and podcast format. That, of course, being Road to Ghost of Tsushima and much more new Road 2 series to come. As well as hit the join button down below if you deem so worthy. If you would like to do so, support me and support this little endeavor because I do hate my day job. There is a $1 tier for Prince tier and a $5 tier for King tier to support. You get cool channel badges, cool emojis, all that great stuff, but make sure to support if you deem so worthy. Now onto this, I have to assume that a lot of you guys are definitely using the likes of Discord or another third-party application to talk with games with your friends, right? That's what I personally do. I use Discord, big fan of Discord. By the way, link below in the description to the Discord server for PlayStation Source. But beside all that, this software update does bring a lot of really bolstered features to the party and messages systems as well. Starting off here, when starting a party, you can now choose to create a new group or select an existing group. When you create a new group, it'll be saved even after the party has ended. You can start a new party with the same members by selecting the group that you previously created. So this is a pretty cool feature. We have it in Discord, not that big of a thing, but really cool to see that they are kind of having that into the overall OS as well. You can now use your groups across party and messages. You can send messages to a group you created for a party or start a party with a group you've messaged with. Messages has been added to the screen during parties. When you select messages, you'll see the messages exchanged between members of your group. The public/private settings for the parties have been removed. Only members of the group can join the party. Interesting stuff right there. You can now change your party settings from the options menu that displays on the screen when you select party. You can also manage your party connection settings when you select party voice chat connection, which has been added to the party settings. Members of your party can now see when your mic is muted. You can now join parties even if they are members that you've blocked. When you join a party with a blocked member or when a blocked member joins the party, you'll receive a notification. During the party, you won't hear each other and the game you're playing as well as your share play status won't be displayed. In addition, the blocked member won't be notified that you've blocked them. Play together sessions can no longer be started during a party. For online multiplayer games, you can start a game session from within the game. Two-step verification is now available using Authenticator apps. After entering your sign-in ID and password on your PS4, you can complete the sign-in process by allowing the app access. You can download Authenticator apps from the App Store or Google Play. We do not guarantee the functionality of all Authenticator apps. There's also a few things involving the parental controls, which start by saying communicating with other players and viewing content created by other players have been combined and are now communication and user-generated content. If you've selected not allowed for either of these settings, the same setting will transfer after the update. There are also other updated features as well, including a new mute all microphones feature that has been added to the quick menu under sound and devices. This setting mutes all microphones connected to your PS4. The following changes have been made to communities as well. You can no longer create parties from the community screen. You'll need to create a group in party. You can no longer create a new events in events. Events created before the update will still be held, and events and tournaments hosted by game developers will continue to take place. For some features, the content displayed on the screen has changed as well as the screen design. So there's a lot of stuff here, and of course mainly the main focus is the whole thing with parties and messages and how they're really, I feel like overall just it looks like a more simplistic way of, you know, dealing with messages and dealing with parties. And the fact that you couldn't like send a message to a whole group party before this update is kind of weird, but it's now making it a little bit more modernized. It seems like it's definitely going to be a little bit more for the age of, you know, Discord and of other messaging apps that do a much better job at messaging as opposed to PSN. But the big one for me personally is the two-step verification, which is now going to be available for authenticator apps that you can find in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. So this is a great thing because I know a lot of people use those authenticator apps to be more secure with their online services and profiles and stuff like that. Me personally, I use my phone number, so I don't really use these authenticator apps, but I know this has been an asked for thing in the PSN. I know a lot of people have been looking for it, so it looks like this is going to be a great addition to the overall PlayStation OS and all that good stuff. Looks like it'll be more secure. You can't really hate on more security. And of course, with the more simplified controls under the parental control stuff, is going to be very welcoming to a lot of parents that utilize those features. Of course, it may have been a little bit confusing on having those two different options split up into two things that you can toggle, but now it looks like it's going to be under one umbrella, making it a little bit more seamless and make a lot more sense overall. But then we have the other features, which I don't understand, that the notion that you can now no longer create a new event in events, and events that were created before the update will still be held up, and the only events that will be able to be made are events for tournaments hosted by game developers. That's very interesting. I'm not sure why they would remove that. Maybe they just saw that nobody was using it, or maybe, that was the thing. I personally never used events. I just thought that it was kind of a weird feature that I never went into it personally on my standpoint, but still kind of weird that they removed it. But I digress. Now I think the community one is a really good one as well, because I think this may be addressing an issue that I have ran into firsthand as well. I think that some games add you to a community if you've played it before, and so I think people were finding people in that community and automatically adding them to parties and trying to send them those weird messages and stuff like that. I think this is a way to alleviate that problem and have that not happen for the average user. So I think that that is what this change is addressing in terms of just not having a bunch of spam in your messages. But of course, a redesigned content screen for some of the features is a really good thing to see. And I think overall, probably the one that I'm going to probably use the most is maybe the mute all microphones under the quick menu. Always nice to have that quick menu handy and have more features in that quick menu as well. But hey, all in all, I do feel that a big step up update, going into the 8.0 update, having a new numbered update does mean that there is probably a lot more that we don't know about this update that they haven't said here, that we'll find overall, in the use of the PlayStation Network and the PlayStation 4 OS once we get our hands on this update. And I do feel that a lot of this stuff is going to tie into PS5 and ways of the party system and how that is being a little bit more streamlined. I think it is to make way and make sure that it is functional with PS4 to PS5 connectivity. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What is your favorite part of this update? What have you been clamoring for in the update features for the PS4? What do you want to see go over to the PS5? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure to check out that description down below as well to hit up our Twitter, our Discord, as well as our Anchor link to listen to our long form content and podcast format. That of course being Road to Ghost of Tsushima and much more Road to series in the future. Like the video if you enjoyed it, as well as stay subscribed to PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Also, before you go, make sure to consider hitting that join button, or if you're on mobile, there is a link down below in the description. That way you can become a member of the channel, become a Prince tier or King tier, $1 tier, $5 tier respectively, and get filled in on the latest and greatest in PlayStation with some cool emojis and channel badges as well. Thank you all for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.